once again, before we start the panel, I'd like to thank Mr. Prabhu for this power of RERA, understanding and misunderstanding. It's a large topic and will probably take a day. Thank you for encapsulating in such a brief 15-20 minutes what are the important points. Up next is a gentleman who brings a great deal of experience, although he is very young, but a lot of dynamism to this next role. He's going to step up on stage and moderate this next panel. He's famous for leading his company to its iconic status as the most recognizable real estate brand in Navi Mumbai. He has a deep understanding of the market and a consensus-building approach which has made him a trusted voice for the real estate industry. We're extremely excited to have him on board today, as we thought he has the right kind of personality with a wealth of knowledge and, of course, a touch of modesty to guide today's conversation to create value for the audience. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Director Arihant Superstructures, Mr. Akshay Agarwal on stage as he takes his next panel. And I request Akshay Agarwal to please also welcome his panel.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Until 2 weeks ago, I used to feel panel discussion was invented by someone who liked to sit 4 feet above the audience and talk to his 5 close friends and barely recognize the people sitting on uncomfortable chairs. But yes, we have to stick to our timelines, otherwise you get dirty looks from people. So we're going to try to stick to the timelines. I realize that panel discussion is a very effective way how we can understand complex subjects. For today's panel discussion, we have picked up the 2 most relevant topics. We all know while RERA Act 2016 slowly changed the way the real estate industry was operating in India, the Act has also thrown open a few aspects that need extensive deliberation. One such aspect is the defect liability clause. Undoubtedly, this is the first time that such a provision has been introduced, and understanding its applicability is extremely important for us in the times to come. While we discuss this, we are also going to talk about the importance of community management post-RERA. To discuss this, the organizers have created the right balance of panelists who have deep insight on both these subjects. It is my great pleasure to invite the first panelist. In the last 25 years, he has been operating in a highly dynamic environment where acquisitions, mergers, economic changes, risk and regulation changed both the daily routine and strategy for procurement. From his experience today, we aim to get more clarity on a few clauses pertaining to warranties in RERA. Please join me in welcoming on stage the President Procurement of Lodha Developers, Mr. Tikam Jain. Let me now invite the man who is popularly known as the torchbearer for green initiatives in real estate industry. He has close to 3 decades of real estate expertise of leading both industry and procurement. Today we look forward to hearing his insight based on his breadth of intellect. Let us welcome with a big round of applause our second panelist, Mr. Shabbir Kanchwala, Senior Vice President, K. Raheja Court. Our third panelist again has more than 3 decades of experience and is known for making a significant difference in the company's success. His ability to communicate, listen and build strong stakeholder and supply relationship has brought a massive change in how they do business. Today we are fortunate to have him here with us to understand what are the big changes that he has made to ensure construction quality of projects. Ladies and gentlemen, let us jointly welcome Senior Vice President Purchase, Mr. Venkatesh, Bhandare. What is your view on defect liability clause in Maharera? Does it favor the developer, the resident, or is it equitable?
The clause, in my opinion, is definitely helping the customer. You see, before RERA, there was no clarity on what kind of warranty a customer is getting. But the clause says that 5 years defect liability is there for any defect customer can call the developer and ask for the remedy of it. But there is, in my opinion, some lacuna in that because it is a very open and again challengeable. What kind of defects? Say for example, if tile is broken, the customer will call a vendor, call a developer with this tile is broken. So the question may arise: was the tile was not proper, or was the lake was not proper? So I don't think our HERA clause has this kind of clarity at this point of time. So in my opinion, the clause is definitely in favor for the customer, but it requires more maturity in future.
Shabbir, would you add your views on the same subject?
First of all, with RERA coming in, it's something which the
Testing.
government of India should have done this long time back. So I thank the government for doing this better late than never. It obviously helps organized players like us in terms of how the performance of the whole act would be. So say clause 14.3 of RERA Act talks about the structural liability defect of the developer. So structural liability defect is something which has always been something which the developer was always concerned about. So irrespective of the fact that whether RERA is not there or there, for 5 years if we look at correcting any structural liability defect, that is something which the company and the fraternity as a whole needs to look at in terms of how they would do back-end warranties with the RCC contractor, with the structural designer, or with the waterproofing contractor. Having said that, what we have done at AIDAC office, we have strengthened our warranties and defect liability periods for these kind of contractors who primarily are responsible for the structural defects. So any defect in design is anyway covered by the Structural Engineer Act in India, where there is a criminal offence on the structural engineer in case he under designs or there is an issue with the structure during an earthquake. I mean, that's what happened in Gujarat during the earthquake, where a lot of structural designers had to go behind bars in terms of how the process works. As far as the contractor and the waterproofing contractor, the RCC contractor, the fact is that the customer also should not tamper with the structural members during interior works. So one is of course the responsibility on the developer to correct and to ensure. So RERA could have been a little bit more forthcoming on ensuring that the customer also leaves the structural members alone while doing interiors.
Venkatesh sir, could you share your views on how it is it favoring the resident or the developer?
As far as the act is concerned, it's as Tikam ji said, forget the contractors, what about the material which we get? 5 years warranty is to be given for any material. What happens to natural products? Who will give the warranties for the natural products? No one can give warranties for a natural product. And so also, if the products have to be made, government authorities should have gone to the manufacturers and said, the 5 years warranty should be given for a product. Now if a builder has to give, it will cost him an extra money for it. So as far as what I see is, it doesn't help the developer to a particular extent.
Before you move to the next question, I want to add in this, basically the whole objective of bringing this clause is to make the construction quality. 5 years, a builder will have to keep in the mind that he is responsible for it. So definitely he will think before taking any decision on the procurement side or any construction side that the quality should be maintained. The whole object of this clause is basically to make the developer a quality conscious.
My second question is in lines with what Tikam sir has said. So one of the pillars of project delivery process is the management of the quality of construction. So Maharera, I'll start with you and then Shabbir sir can add on to it. So what are the practical changes that your company has done or adopted to make construction construction more qualitative?
Look, at Kalpataru, what we have done is we have moved over from manual to more mechanical ways of working. Like my one is already there. We have moved on from conventional doors to ready-made doors. We have gone from concretization, from using cement for flooring to adhesives, and also seen that the other aspects, like say plumbing, we have moved on to the stack system where Gabrit has come in. So there, what we have seen is we have moved on. So the initial issues or issues that may come later, we have tried to see that they are minimized.
Shabbir sir, what's your opinion on how we can make it more qualitative and being practical?
So when we look at quality, obviously, the construction industry has moved on in the last 10 years in terms of using various new methods of construction methodology, whether it is Maiwan or jump form work or using M70 and above grades of concrete, any other form of system like RMD, which besides quality also speeds up construction time. So now both have become important in the real estate industry, whether it is the time for construction and quality. And customers having traveled the world obviously know now that the quality of a particular product is what they want and what they pay for. Specifically in Mumbai, which is one of the highest. So what we did in addition to all this, which I mentioned, is we have a separate hands-on, I wouldn't say a committee, but 2 or 3 people who would go around and ensure that quality checks are done at regular basis and best practices from one side to the other are shared. So in a gambit, it is a matter of teamwork of the architect, the quality engineer and the project head would ensure that.
Tikam sir, how do you juggle in between handling so many projects? And I always hear you are very practical in your approach to work. So how do you deal with this subject of quality post-wear?
Frankly speaking, nothing has been done after RERA on the quality.
So to conclude that I'm sure we have set benchmarks for quality in construction management, and we can be sure that this guarantee optimum outcome and profit if done to complete excellence. So I believe still a lot of clarity is required from Maharera. We were reading excerpts from Haryana RERA. There is more clarity on what needs to be done. So I think better representation, now that there's some clarity, we need better representation towards Maharera so that the developer exactly knows what he needs to do. Moving on, I had recently attended first ever international summit on community management held in Mumbai last month, and I was hearing Mr. John Hammersmith, president of Community Manager, talk about how real estate developers can be profitable with community managers taking a lead role. So sir, my next question would start with Tikam sir. I would like to ask you, post-RERA, how is community management being viewed by real estate developers? We're talking about society management, facility management, and bigger projects looking at community management. So from handing over perspective, that's possession, how is community management looked upon as big developers like you?
Again, my answer is, frankly speaking, after RERA, we haven't done any change in handing over process from the construction to the facility management because our processes were already in place. We're following very strong quality check at 2 ends. One is the construction end and one is after the one who is taking over the property as a facility management. And the facility management team is very strong in taking over the property and managing till it forms the society.
Shabbir sir, could you add on about how do you look at from the green perspective, the green initiative? How does it link with community management, and how can a developer be more beneficial and make a better community for people to stay?
So obviously, community management is something which is nascent in this country in terms of how it would work in, say, Europe and the US. With respect to the various sustainability aspects of a home and an office, Having said that, me and KRA Jacob, when we started doing this 8 to 10 years back, the various green initiatives have now actually become an SOP for the commercial segment. So when we look at the IT space which gets leased out, their principles in Europe and US understand that community management, facility management, and ensuring that the building remains sustainable during the operations and handing over is something which is right now happening in this country, just beginning to happen in this country in the commercial space. In the residential space, obviously, the involvement of the customer, right from the time that we hand over to the time the facility management looks at it, and the fact that in a green home it saves power and water is something which the customer still needs to be made aware of, in addition to the fact that as a community, whether it's a single building or a complex, where the common areas of the building as well as the complex fall in the ambit. So the synergy between facility management and ambit of community management for the common areas is something which we work on very seriously.
So after the construction activities are done, now when we are handing over the possession to the community management team or the facility management arm, how do they take it forward to being able to give warranties? Because as we were discussing, the RCC structure work gets done a year or two prior to me giving possession, and we are required to give 5 years warranty towards the possession stage. So how do we hand over the subject to the community management team so that they can, post-RERA take it forward?
Look, as far as we are concerned, as you rightly said, 5 years, the project has to be given a warranty. 3 years are already, or 2 years are already lapsed. So how do we go about? That's a silent factor. Whether it's from the date of possession, whether it's from the date of OC, or it's from construction. So there it's a bit open point. But as far as we are concerned, for us, we have our own facility management company. So there what we do is, initially for the first 3 years, our own facility management company takes care of the project, wherein the warranties, guarantees as far as the products are concerned are given to them, along with, at the same are also given to the customers. So our facility management team, till the society is formed, looks into the ins and outs of the full community. And thereafter it's for the society to decide whether they want us to be there or they don't want us to be there. So the other certificates and warranties are then passed on to the other facility management or the society wherever work is.
Shabbir sir, the industry also feels that facility management arm must be handed over through annual rate contracts. Can you give more clarity on how this can be facilitated?
So what we do is, when we actually float the inquiry for a particular item which will involve warranties, whether it is air conditioning or lifts or any kind of other equipments which will anything which is moving. So any of these moving items which involve also. So we ask for the 5-year warranty right from the time when we float the RFQ in terms of, and that also gets negotiated along with the capex cost. So our decision also is not only on the capex, it also depends on what the 5-year annual maintenance cost is. So the annual maintenance cost is actually if you see, it's a misnomer, because there is a lot of other maintenance which actually goes in terms of what we call preventive, predictive, regular, along with annual maintenance. So from a commercial office where we lease out space, we obviously look at it differently, because we have got our own facility management company, Matrix, which takes care of all commercial properties that we don't sell. From a residential standpoint where Matrix is involved, we ensure that the annual maintenance contracts are negotiated for the next 5 years, and that is what is handed over at the time of society formation.
Tikam sir, from your side, how important is professionally trained, qualified community management to be on board towards for the developers while handing over possession? Can you share your views on it?
There are definitely few professional agencies are there in the market. You can use their services as you ask for the how professionally team you want. Second thing, in-house you can develop the facility management team where you can train your people itself, as well as you can hire some of the good professionals, those who have experience of the facility management. And this is how you can make your team very strong.
I'd like to bring to the audience that Gautam Chatterjee is chairperson of Maharera, and it said that in the first 2 to 3 years, the transition period will be painful. We certainly agree to him. At the same time, having timely discussions like these, where there is diversity among the panelists, have led to diverse views which have been to our advantage to make progress in getting more clarity. I now throw the subject open to the audience that they can ask questions directed to the esteemed panelists. We can allow for 3 questions.
Actually, the question I'll just take it from our Q&A. We really don't have clarity on where the warranty starts from. Because as we have said, the RCC, maybe in high-rise the RCC gets completed maybe 2 years or 3 years back. It's not even 1 year or 2 years. The RCC gets completed 3 years back. Now, taking it forward, how the guarantee or warranty who will be the best person to answer this? How will the warranty get carried forward? Now, I am taking possession on the first year. Maybe somebody is taking possession on the 3rd year or 4th year. We don't know after the completion of the project. So how will the warranty stand? Will the warranty stand different for different person, or will the warranty stand for only one building? We still really don't know how we'll address this from RERA perspective or from the...
I understood. Prashant, so you are asking that it is not very clear as to from where the defect liability period starts. Is it from the possession?
The warranty starts from your OC. The warranty starts from your OC. That is very clear.
Yes.
But how do we extend warranty? Because I am taking possession. I am taking possession when the OC comes on the first day. My inventory is not sold. I may sell it after the OC comes after 2 years. Maybe the inventory is everybody has their inventory. What is the warranty then after 2 years? Because I will be starting living in that apartment or in that property after 2 years only. So how that warranty for fires is liable to me, or I am liable only for 2 years or only 3 years, which is left?
See, in my opinion, every occupant who is coming in a staggered way cannot ask for the warranty for the 5 years. So there will be one point of where maximum number of occupants comes and a builder declares that this is the date. Beyond that, if any customer comes, say a customer comes after 5 years, how can he ask for a warranty for the 5 years? See, he has to see the back end also. If any equipment I have purchased, air conditioning or something like that, elevators and all that, it is running operational since last 5 years. So after 5 years, how can he ask for the 5 year warranty? It is same as if building is sold and after 5 years a second occupant comes, how can he ask for it? So there will be some cutoff. Beyond that cutoff, I think it should not be applicable.
Who will define that cutoff?
As far as section 14 is concerned, they are saying from the date of possession. So the position which is given to the allotee. If the position is given, let us say staggered way, and when is given, let us say in 2000, the person gets position in 2019 from there.
So, sir, that is possible, but there can be a limited period. So it can be 1 year or 2 year period maximum. But how will you bring the warranty after 5 years for another 5 years?
There is no warranty of the, it does not talk about, maybe the equipments may get damaged, but it is talking about workmanship and quality. It should be 5 years from the date of taking the position.
So my practical answer on this will be, if a builder can give a 5 years warranty, he is confident on 5 years. So I don't think he is uncomfortable on 7 years or 8 years also.
That's correct.
But then that would add on to getting extended insurance cost. And sir, I would like you to share your opinion on how we can reduce the cost but not extending the warranty.
When I said when there are extended warranties, the cost will come in. And if at all the cost has to be reduced, as Shabbir bhai rightly said that it has to be decided when the material is purchased. But till when and how long? Say if I build a building today and my last flat is sold 2 years or 4 years after that, how do I see that the warranties continue for everything? So it's too silent on a particular aspect. The things have to be clearly said or specified so that the builder does not have any issue.
I would now like to thank the audience for listening to us and thank the organizers for putting this event together. Thank you so much. We would like to end the first panel discussion on this note. Thank you so much.